Okay, here we go. Now, for some reason, now, apologies for that, everybody. The now my stream deck was playing up, so yeah, my stream deck was not deciding to play ball, despite the fact that I was actually telling it to do something. Anyway, I am MasakoX. Haverok is here.
I'm here.
Yes, but Sophie B isn't. She's at PAX South, I think. So she's off in Texas and going to a gaming convention while we're here being dorks about Dragon Ball.
Yep.
Hope everyone's having a good night. And if you are new to the What If Roundtable, you can leave your What If suggestions and Haverok and I can talk about them. We've got a lot to get through, so if you want to get it read early, now's the time to do it. And we will have a time, gentlemen, or ladies, or anything in between, that basically we won't take any more after that because we do get a lot through them. And we're not going... Gone are the days we're doing 3-hour streams. No, we're not doing... We can't be doing 3 hours.
And we are zombies after 3 hours and you don't get the answers you would like to get.
Exactly. So basically we need to rattle through these as much as possible because we do have a lot of them and we do have them now. So again, leave a super chat or you can become a member to help support the channel in the times of dire straits for any YouTube creator in January.
January.
No, seriously, it's real. The CPMs go down really badly, like cut in half for the first week and stuff like that. But hey, we're all nerds here, so let's get on with the first one. From Red Dragon Force 2. What if the end of the Tournament of Power was Gohan, Piccolo, and 17? Gohan and Piccolo barely managing to run the clock out, winning by members, then defeating Jiren. So basically, they win by numbers, and this is a Chadhan situation.
Yep. So it's a manga Gohan. So
yes.
I'm pretty sure that manga Gohan could outsmart Jiren and keep him occupied for long enough. Like, you know, he could take on Kefla. I wouldn't say he would precisely, you know, defeat her, but I'm pretty sure he would have a pretty good chance of keeping him occupied. So basically, you gave us a ready scenario. Like that, there's not much to say. I think they could do this. I think they could do this, and Red Dragon Force. I think the situation like there's not much to say really, and I also think that Chadhan would also wish all the universes to be back. I wonder how they would determine the winner then. So
I think it was like you said, it was like down to numbers.
Yeah, but I know down to numbers. But who would get the wish? Would it be Chadhan? Would it be the MVP?
I think probably it would be Chadhan because just for the
yeah.
I think or Piccolo, they might say Piccolo might just go, nah, my boy deserves it. He probably if Piccolo was given it, he'd pass it over to Gohan. And
I think GP would have chosen the team's captain. Probably.
Yeah, team captain, of course. That is very true.
Yeah.
Because it actually means something. So, it would actually mean something for once. Anyway, the Jurassic Show. What would the Universe 13 team look like if they'd been in the TOP? I apologize to them for scraping the bottom of the deepest depths of Hiffle for this. Well...
If you mean our Universe 13 that we created, a GOD, an Angel, and a Kai recently, which by the way, if you haven't seen, please see it. We have a lot of fun with this one, and we feel that not enough of you have seen it. Yeah, we're kind of proud of this one.
Exactly. I do. I mean, granted, it came out on Boxing Day, I believe, but
you know what we think about.
Yeah, I'm just getting it up on the chat. So here is a link to it if you didn't see it. So do bookmark that for later, because we did have a lot.
So
of
fun
So
So we won't give you the answer now, but we can promise you that this would be the follow-up for this video.
Yes, exactly. So yeah, that's that. Manifesto. What if Goku learned more in Yardrat, not just the instant transmission, with more techniques that benefited DBZ if Goku did learn more before return? Well, okay, so what this does imply is that, again, spoilers for the manga, so you know, although it isn't really spoilers, it's kind of like stuff that Goku already did. It just shows that Goku barely scratched the surface before he got bored. He got a mixture of being bored, you know, doing what he was doing, as well as going like, oh darn, Frieza's heading back home. Oh dear. So it was a mixture of that. But there wasn't anything stopping him instant transmissioning back and continuing.
Yeah.
So basically, it just shows that Goku could have learned more, but he was the training that we saw with Vegeta is very, very tedious. So it's something that I don't think Goku took very well to for more than he did.
Maybe if he was younger, but like he already has certain things that he's used to, certain training regimes, and Goku doesn't change his training regimes after a while. He doesn't get accustomed to, like, he doesn't. We talked about this in Chathan video, kinda, that Goku isn't the one to adapt. He tries to adapt everyone around to his style.
Exactly.
But if he learned more, you can get pretty creative with the spirit control. Like those powers that we have mentioned in the manga, like it is heavily implied that those are just guidelines, and you can do a lot of, like, you can give those powers your own unique spin.
No, exactly. Okay. Red Dragon Force 2 again, representing Karan Saini. What if Goku went Super Saiyan Blue against Beerus after he threatens his friends during their battle during Battle of Gods? I like the idea of Super Saiyan stacking in this battle. Okay, so basically, I mean, I think it's plausible, because Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan is the Super Saiyan mixed with God Ki, but we're told that he basically absorbed God Ki and then manifested it into Super Saiyan. So in base form, he was as strong as Super Saiyan God, apparently. So in a way, going Super Saiyan had the same effect. So let's just say, for example, if we rewrote it and we knew that blue was a thing, we probably would have seen blue, and Beerus would have had no idea what it was. And also, I think it would have been something like a bigger twist. You'd end up with having two forms that you had no idea what they were. By the way, guys, let's get the likes up here. We need to get to 100 likes. There's only 27, so you guys can do better than that. Come on, I believe in you.
Yeah, on the other hand, to quickly close it, like, blue was something that was a visual, like we discussed a while before we started, a visual indicator of the fact that the training with Whis and Beerus gave Goku and Vegeta something, and in the grand scheme of things, I don't think that would make a lot of difference for the duel. Like, Beerus would still mop floor with Goku. Like, Goku would still try and still be, like, Beerus would still be impressed, but, like, Super Saiyan Blue, Beerus still can beat that easily.
Yeah, absolutely. I think pretty much you nailed it on the head there. Paparacha, our regular Paparacha, is back in.
Yay!
Akima Ryu, thank you very much for becoming a member. You can become a member by pressing the blue join button down below. So very welcome, Ryu. Okay, Paparacha is, what if Mecha Frieza was reincarnated as Yamcha?
I like this one. I really like. He would be really frustrated.
Yeah, and also be very confused, I would say. We'll write this down. We'll write this down maybe for a lightning round. That's cool. Paparacha again with, what if future Ginyu got a new body and was helpful? Okay, so basically the thinking that, oh, Ginyu is still around. Oh, by the way, Adam, welcome becoming a member as well. Thank you. So we got 2 new members. Nice. But
welcome.
Basically, with this, it's like Ginyu, for example, was somehow able to change from a frog to somebody else. His power would not... It depend on who the person was. It's a bit precarious like that, wouldn't you say?
And it's with Ginyu, like, it would depend. Some sources, but like we don't have any official confirmations of that. I think because some places say that there is a limit for Ginyu, as in he gets access to those new powers, but in the end he is limited by his own potential, of his own spirit, to say to use that word. Like, I think that Ginyu, like, after Frieza was gone, I think he could be forced into submission. It would depend whose body would that be, because Ginyu likes taking orders, and I think that there would be a way to write Ginyu to become Vegeta's lackey in a way.
Yeah, like, be like, Well, look how the tables have turned.
Yeah.
You,
Ginyu is the guy, you
And
know,
now, the
who...
dance of Prince Vegeta.
Yeah. Ginyu is a person. Ginyu is a person who, aside from, you know, his exquisite princess dances, like he always rubbed me as someone who doesn't want to be number one, but he's a perfect number two. You know, like he has his own squad, but like he needs somebody more powerful than him to
giving
tell
him
him.
like a
Yeah,
direction in which to go.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
now I see that. Okay, Red Dragon Force 2 again. And by the way, JDCK Boost, thank you very much for becoming an executive producer.
Welcome.
That's one of the top members. Thank you.
Yeah.
Red Dragon Force 2. This one's a two-parter. What if Bardock was granted one request for his attempt to save Prince Vegeta, and it was to train his son when the time was right? So, basically, if somehow he was able to save Vegeta, and basically, you know, it's like he almost kind of like does the law of surprise almost by just basically going like, if you see my son, I want you to train him. So that would mean the Goku Vegeta fight with honor and stuff like that. I think Vegeta would be very tempted to go along with it. And by the way, the itinerant, very much thank you for becoming a member. Nice.
Thank you.
But yeah, that'd be interesting, but at the same time, I feel like it would also deny us the opportunity to have a very epic fight at the beginning of Z.
Yeah.
So I think, unfortunately, it's a cool idea, and it's very interesting to actually have that connection with Bardock. Narratively, I like it, but I feel like in terms of the action and the core audience, it would be... Oh, Planet Vegeta, Red Dragon Force says. Planet Vegeta. So basically he says, what if Bardock was gone for his attempt to save Planet Vegeta? And it's to train his son when the time was right. Okay, so basically, he goes to King Yama, and like, you know, King Yama goes like, well, okay, I guess you tried to... Well, would he though? Saiyans aren't exactly seen glowing, though.
Yeah.
But it's just like, well, since you tried to save things and stop Frieza, I guess you can have one thing. So it's like, yeah, okay. So basically... Okay, so when Goku appears, like, at his table, he might be more like, well, your dad came by here, and I'm supposed... There'd be much less red tape. King Yama would just say, oh yeah, just go to King Kai. Like, that probably would have saved him several hours and stuff like that.
Yeah,
or maybe
and I think that the training wouldn't go so well. Like, I think that this training wouldn't give them that much.
Yeah, no, exactly. And by the way, the Nerd King came by him with a big donation. Thank you.
Thank you, Nerd King.
Nerd King says,
thank you.
Hey, I sold something on eBay and got a ton. Spend it on people who are worth it. Aww.
Nerd
really
King,
thank you for making people happy. My question is, what would R&R Universe make of Tiancha, and what fusion would Raddatz want to fuse with? Oh, Tien and Yamcha. Okay.
Tiancha is cool, man.
Sorry?
Tiancha is cool, man. Tiancha is cool. I like
Tiancha. Tiancha's interesting. I probably would think... well, we got all the kids, you know. Yeah, we got Trunks and Ranch and Goten, Goten and Trunks, all that kind of stuff. We got Goddets with Goku and Raddatz and stuff like that. Lots of different ones, but you know, it really depends, because fusion is not something you want to use too much of, or else it might run the risk of like. I mean, maybe Raddatz might want to like try and fuse with Tenshin Han to see what would hapen. I want to know whether I get a third eye. Do I get a third eye? It's like we don't know exactly, but so that means you don't. So that means we're not going to get a third eye.
And I think that Raddatz might be like likes gimmicky, likes gimmicks and interesting key powers, and I think he might be kind of interested in Tien's powers, but he's too proud to try and steal them from him.
No, but he'd like to at least know that, so he goes like, so that's how it works. Cool. He'd want to know out of curiosity, almost, in a way.
Yeah, you know, if there are any artists here like Tien Ditz.
Yeah, exactly.
Or Rain, I guess. Rain.
Okay.
Yeah.
Rien Shinhan or something.
Rien Shinhan.
Okay. Okay. What was it? Manifesto. I'm just thinking that Piccolo never got limelight during the Boo saga, aside from fusion training. What if Piccolo avoided Dabura's spit, and therefore more before, after, and Boo's release? Okay, so
Exactly.
basically, if Piccolo didn't get hit, they had Damo music. Unfortunately, Sophie B's out at the convention this week, so she is not here this time around. But she'll be back. She will be back soon. But yeah, so basically, I'd say that Piccolo will probably be there, almost to kind of like, big up Gohan almost. Yeah, moral support, or maybe he might actually take Vegeta's spot and fight Pui Pui.
Maybe. I also think that that he could get some stuff unlocked, some unlocking shenanigans in the secret world of Kai by the old Kai.
Yeah, no, definitely, certainly.
Like he has Guardian in him, and like we don't know what's the exact origin of the Guardian powers, and we can suspect that it is connected to Supreme Kai, so maybe they will be able to unlock some latent powers in Piccolo.
Yeah, no, certainly. No, definitely. Okay. Paparazzi? What if Bardock went Super Saiyan against Frieza, and seeing how weak it was Frieza, let the rest of the Saiyans live? Not Bardock, of course. Bad end sound. First one of the night. Come on. Is the sound going to play? There we go. It's a bit slow. Unfortunately, with the power level of roughly 10,000, the 50 times multiplier, I imagine that it would still not be strong enough to beat First Form Frieza. It would give him a challenge, of course, but at the same time, it would be like, it would be, Frieza would just power up to Second Form and go, okay, no.
And I think it would calm him down. Okay, that was the legendary Super Saiyan. Now I have, free reign. Like Frieza would be like, okay, I dealt with the problem. Saiyans are done. Bye.
Yeah, exactly. But so that means it would make the shock of Goku arriving even more. It might actually make him kind of go... It might make him, instead of try and blow up the planet even quicker.
Yeah.
And he probably would actually blow it up properly. Like he wouldn't do it under stress or something. Or maybe it might just fail entirely. You're not quite sure. But it's interesting. It would have
he would be like, oh my, mistakes have been made.
Oh no, I've become error.
Yeah.
Doc Silver Online. What if Dragon Ball was set in Britain? My personal change. Sensu tea. I'm gonna give you a cup of sensu tea. I don't... If it was set in Britain, I don't really know, except, like, there'd be a queue to fight people, certainly. There'd be loads of...
There would be duels, proper duels.
There would be, duels involving more fisticuffs, as in, like, you'd have, like, Mr. Fisticuffs, push-ups? You mean earth downs? And stuff like that. So, probably just a bit more proper, honor being more of a thing, all that kind of stuff. Frieza basically acting like the British Empire, almost.
I mean, Trunks would travel in a police box, come on.
Of course. And King Furry would be trying to, like, having a wet West-Sict or something like that.
Yeah.
Be very adamant about that. West City secedes from the rest of the world. Something like that. Master Riku. What if Raddatz had married Bulma? Okay, that's interesting.
That's a new... Excuse me, that's a new one.
Sorry, that's a new one. So let's say, for example, Raddatz survives, and Bulma is like, kind of like the whole Saiyan thing and stuff like that. If she did, I think Raddatz would actually go along with it more. Still be proud Saiyan warrior, but at least he wouldn't, like, disappear and stuff like Vegeta would.
Oh yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think so. If not for honor, like the pure peer pressure of angry Bulma would make him stay.
Okay. Yes. Okay. All right. Yes. Sorry, dear. But at least At least you can predict it, unlike launch.
I still think that could be, a very one-sided relationship, because the way why they work so well with Launch is because Launch has, she's hard enough to, to not allow Raditz to go with his silly shenanigans, but she can be like pretty soft and caring, something that I believe he would need. But
Yeah,
on the other side, like, I think, like, from the lack of the better word, I think Bulma would be too smart for him.
Yeah, too smart for her own good with Raditz, unfortunately.
Like, Raditz isn't stupid, but Raditz is cunning, but he isn't like book smart.
No.
And while I can imagine a couple like this, like, I think he wouldn't feel good with being with someone who lives in the world that he never can understand, really.
Yeah, I would say that's true. Okay, next one is Manifesto again. What if King Kai taught Piccolo Kaioken before being wished back to Namek and fighting Frieza? Would it be better utilized in the series than Goku did? Well, we've talked about this a few times, actually, Piccolo learning the Kaioken. And in a way, it is interesting because it does potentially mean... Because Piccolo will be able to find the limit a lot sooner. And he would be able to go, like, because he'd do a certain Kaioken level, it would bust a limb and stuff like that, he'd regenerate. So he would know his limits and how he peaks much sooner than Goku would. And I feel like you could really push the limits with Kaioken, like, beyond times 20, I think. It's like maybe closer to times 50.
Yeah, and, like, we are approaching this in What If Goku Beat Roshi, so you're gonna experience that in one of our What Ifs pretty soon. Hint, hint.
So you stay tuned for that one. Paparazzi again. What if Super Saiyan was a technique, not a form? Like a mastered Kaioken, and not limited to Saiyans? Okay, so if it was, then for a start, it would mean that, it's like a technique, but it does, like, it has certain characteristics and appearance different variations depending on the species. So, like, same multiplier and same, like, effect, but, like, different aesthetics, almost?
I mean, in Big Green, you just shout Kamehameha really, really loudly, and you go Super Saiyan. So
yes,
in that universe, it works like this.
Yeah, so you just go Kamehameha.
Yeah, but, like, I bet with you, if that was the case, Tien would train a lot to achieve it.
Yeah, certainly. And by the way, Brett Ephraim, wow, thank you very much for your big donation, sir.
Thank you.
So, yeah, obviously, we do have a queue, but for any of the donations like that, they do kind of take priority because they have been very, very generous and appreciative of this. So they say, I love your videos, Masako, especially the villains turning good, and I want to know what if Tarbal was exiled to Earth. Okay, so if Tarbal was exiled to Earth, then for a start, he'd be a bit more useful, and we'd actually know his limits and stuff. But I feel like if he was, he'd be a very good-natured boy. And I feel like he would have whoever was taking care of him would have discovered the Ozaru power and stuff. But at the same time, I don't know. I think Tarbal would blend in better than Goku did.
Yeah.
He would blend in a lot easier, and I feel like.
And obviously, like, he would have to become friends with Goku. They would become buddies, and they would later on the Raditz and Vegeta reveal would be so much more meaningful in that regards.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, they would have to, kinda experience it together.
Yeah, and I think Tarbal would take it really badly. Because he'd be like, oh my god, my race are monsters! And stuff like that. He would cope with it badly.
But Goku would be like, we're not monsters.
Yeah, exactly. He's saying, yeah,
basically
they'd have each other's back.
Yeah.
So... They'd have each other's back, definitely. Okay, that's really cool. That's a good idea. That's a good idea, Brett. Thank you. Okay, next one is Paparazzi. No, we've done that one. Ghost Kaiser. What if Super Saiyan 4 appeared in Super? Well, we like to think it kind of has, in the form of Wrathful Broly. Wrathful Broly is basically the the representation of Super Saiyan 4 in Dragon Ball Super. Because it has the looking eyes, it has the effects of basically tapping into the Ozaru power while still in the body. So, it does have some kind of connection to Super Saiyan 4. And it's almost acknowledging it without actually just bringing the form in. Yeah. Which is pretty cool. So that's pretty much the answer there. Ginger Gamer, what if Vegito never turned back when Boo turned him into candy? Okay, so what, like Vegito state fusion was permanent? Or something like that? I think that's what they mean. Well, Ginger Gamer, if that's the case, then we've actually done that in What If Vegito Stayed Fused? So if you go back to that, then, you know, that's pretty much your answer there, mate. Captain Lugi, what if the Saiyans were good in canon? You'd have Universe 6 Saiyans. Pretty much, I would say. Yeah. Wouldn't you say, Haverok?
Yeah. I totally agree. I don't have like thoughts about this one, really.
Okay. But we'd pretty much done that. So basically you'd have Universe 6 Saiyans. Frostbite Frostbite? May not be a DBZ related, but just for fun. Lupin the III meets versus and teams up with Batman. Just wondering. Well, again, that's not really our expertise, but I feel like in a way you'd have like a Joker Batman situation, except at least, you know, Batman knows that it's kind of like more of like the deep mysteries and stuff like that, and like technical gadgets and mystery and intrigue in terms of like the gadgets and stuff like that instead of explodey stuff.
I mean, yeah, maybe finally a detective story of Batman, you know.
It would be,
because,
it would be very much in keeping with Detective Comics, which is what DC
is. It's such a shame that the movies doesn't forgot that Batman is the greatest detective, and, you know.
I want Batman to say,
yeah,
the plot thickens, stuff like that.
Yeah.
A good callback there. Red Dragon Force 2. In What If Goku Didn't Lose to Jackie Chun, did you intentionally set up a Raddatz Nappa surviving and maybe turning good together with Vegeta?
I cannot answer that question.
Yeah, nah. Haverok's the main instigator in this one, and if we told you that, then that would ruin the rest of the series.
Yeah.
But let's just say that Goku has a plan, and that's something that has been alluded to.
Things will happen.
Things will
happen. Yeah.
Just
what I want to say, like the only thing I can give you, the only hint is like we have outlined the story till its end, and the final opponent in this story is not who you think it's gonna be.
So yeah, if you want to check it out, go and check out What If Goku Defeated Roshi, that What If series, and you'll be able to clue yourself up. Aaron Mark Owen, what if Super Goku and Xeno Goku fuse like Zamasu? Well, now that we know that with fusion, if you have basically the same person, they basically just become double Goku. You basically just have a really strong Goku with a stereo voice, almost. Maybe
with memories of both,
yes.
Yeah, and since it's both Goku, I think the minds will work together pretty well.
Yeah, they pretty much would merge together quite nicely there, certainly. Timothy Rowan, what if Turles married Bulma? I think he'd almost have a similar thing with Vegeta, because Turles does act like Vegeta in a way, just without the backing up that he's actually a prince.
Yeah, but would want to marry the guy who, you know, who like chiming in for Sophie, but who is already hinted to, you know, planted the tree and caused the deaths of so many planets. I kind of know that Vegeta also did that, but Vegeta at least has somewhat sympathetic backstory. Somewhat. Exactly. And I like again, good Turles, like good Turles cannot exist because Turles exists to be an evil Goku combined with Vegeta. Yeah.
He's Dark Goku, plain and simple there. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. Manifesto. What if Super Saiyan 4 appeared earlier in GT before Baby? Well, I don't know where he would have appeared, because there weren't really any big villains, because GT was originally meant to be, and this is basically coming from official sources, it was meant to be a mystical adventure thing trying to find Black Star Dragon Balls. But the showrunners of GT realized that after episode 3, they were going like, we can't keep this up. Because they didn't have the magical charm of Toriyama. So eventually, they tried to wrap up the arc as soon as possible and get back to basically just the baby saga was them responding and going like, let's just do what we did in Z. And stuff like that. So, unfortunately, there's not really much of a call for Super Saiyan 4 unless it was discovered by accident. Like, say, the Para brothers. They angered Goku so much he turns into a golden great ape. Then, basically, it would mean that, okay, as soon as they get back on planet Earth, Goku would just transform to Super Saiyan 4 and beat Baby probably before he becomes a great ape himself. So he just defeat Baby sooner, almost.
Yeah, when we were writing GT Raddatz, it was actually a challenge because our characters kind of already knew about, Super Saiyan 4. That's why we had Range out of the picture. That's why we had Vegeta guarding it. That's why our baby is a little bit stronger. Because, like, to be quite honest, like, it's still, like, the first saga, it still is a cakewalk for those characters. Like, I don't know about you guys, but, like, it's always kind of silly to see, oh, yeah, like, nothing, the hero succeeded at everything. We don't want to see that.
No, you need to give it some peril, and that's what we do in the What Ifs. We don't make things too easy. That's why in part 11, I know a lot of people were really angry that Ranch made the Tournament of Power team. So I had to lampshade that one and basically just go like, yeah, let's just have Ranch go out first. So yeah, I had to nip that in the bud, certainly. Okay. We have Brett did one that was Tarbell Exaltworth. We've done that. JDCK Boost. What if Boost stayed training during Super? Okay, so basically, if Boo's thing carried on, I actually did a what if this called What If Boo Didn't Fall Asleep, and you'd get that. So I'd recommend JDCK check out that video of what if.
As with the latest revelations with the manga, I think Boo can realistically beat Moro.
Yeah, no, basically, if the Grand Supreme Kai, with the Grand Supreme Kai in there, you'd have the Grand Supreme Kai in there with a buff body. He would certainly make Moro retreat, almost. Moro would just kind of go like, yeah, I'm just gonna go now. He wouldn't have just basically...
I'm just gonna goat now.
I'm just gonna goat out of here. Something like that. Even though he's technically a ram. So basically, there's your answer. Rector Acor. What if Goku couldn't come back during the Peaceful World saga? Okay, so basically, I don't know what you mean by that, because, yeah, he was alive at the time, so the Elder Kai had given his life essence for Goku to come back to life. So, if it just meant that he was training and he didn't show up, then people would just be going like, where's Goku? Oob would have probably just done his thing. Vegeta probably would have kept an eye on him or something like that. But other than that, yeah, Goku just being a recluse, it would be like, yeah, that'd be a bit of an anticlimactic ending. But yeah. War Hero. What if Future Ranch ignores Future Trunks and went back to the past during the Cell arc? Oh, okay. So basically, if Future Ranch just ignored Future Trunks and went back in his stead, I feel like, Vio Goshinki, I don't believe we've gotten to yours. I've not had it. But we do have a backlog. Yeah, I do see it. I do see it in the list. We haven't got to yours yet, so we will get to yours shortly. So odds are, if we haven't read your super chat out yet, anyone out there, we probably haven't got to it yet because we've had a huge influx of them. But I would say with Future Ranch, she probably would end up training with Raddatz in a way, in the time chamber. But I didn't want to retcon the Raddatz turn good thing too much. Mainly just focusing on the future, pretty much. Okay, Little T Savage. What if Crillon killed Android 18? Well, okay, so if Crillon put his feelings aside, and he basically pressed the button that shut down 18, then basically Cell couldn't become perfect. And Vegeta would get bored, going like, well, so much for that plan then, you're no use to me, okay, bye.
Or Cell could go, you know, in the last act of spite, he would go boom,
Self-destruct.
Yeah.
Yeah, self-destruct, and Goku would be in the time chamber. Yeah, that would blow the planet up. No, go Shinky, don't worry about it.
Would make Gohan and Goku like stuck in.
They'd be stuck in there, and then they would. I mean, they'd have food in there, but they'd have to wait.
Yeah.
They probably would end up having to like try and like suss their way out by screaming their way out, like with Boo and Gotenks. But that would take out loads of trial and error. But anyway,
and they would go to the ruined planet. So
yeah, here's an idea for y'all. What if Goku and Vegeta trained in grappling arts? Like, say they come across a Kai or another god that knows some alien version of wrestling. Well, Vince McMahon would want to know their location, for starters. But I would say, really, it would actually be really cool if they had more kind of grip and more melee, close quarter fighting. It would be a very nice callback to the original Dragon Ball, where, you know, martial arts were very key towards, you know, a person doing really well, and that kind of stuff. So, I would say it would be, if it was like that, you'd probably have Vegeta doing more kind of like close quarters stuff, getting right in there, taking people by surprise, where key attacks would pretty much be useless, unless it was like AoE stuff. So, yeah, I would say it would actually be a really interesting turn of events.
We all hope that TOP would have something like that.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Like, even though you couldn't fly, like they jumped so high that sometimes it seemed like they were flying.
It's like with JoJo. People like said, "Oh, well, are they flying?" No, they're just jumping really, really fast.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay. Molly Shadows. What if Chichi and Goku trained together? Well, we've talked about this a few times. This will probably be in our next What If FAQ. But if they did train together, Chichi would have a better understanding about why Goku does what he does. So there'd probably be a really good compromise about Gohan studying between what he does. So he'd actually have a probably healthy work ethos almost still. But I just feel like they'd probably be less pushy parents almost.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. Futo. What if Goku Black decided to rid the Earth of Goku and then take his place? Goku Black kills Goku, then tells everyone he just got a new outfit. Oh, okay. So basically, if Goku Black decided to just, like, say, like, pretend to be Goku, so he blows up Zamasu saying, like, pretends to be Goku and goes, like, this guy was an imposter. I'm the real Goku. And, like, she goes, like, I love you too, Earth Woman. Yeah. Oh my god, it's so hard to say that. Or something like that. So, I feel like the body of Goku... Because the one thing I found really interesting with Goku Black is that Zamasu in Goku's body had flaws seeping into his character. Like, the Saiyan nature of wanting to fight. That kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And pride. It was seeping in. It was really interesting. And if they'd have expanded upon it and actually have Goku Black flinch or have some kind of doubt and just show, and then Zamasu would just go like, you've been corrupted by mortals and stuff like that. You're no use to me anymore. So that would have been really interesting. And actually that would give you sympathy to Goku Black. That would have been really cool. You know what? Let's make a note of this. I want to make this a what if.
Yeah.
Cool. Master Riku now. What if Android 18 decided to help look after Gohan and Goten after the defeat of the Cell games, as a form of thanks for saving a life? Well, again, this is something more to do with... I don't think that 18 has got any debt to Gohan. Except for the fact, okay, yeah, basically, he basically punched her out of Cell. Okay, that's true. But mainly, she just wants to find... She probably wanted to find her brother. And then basically figure out what to do next. And figure herself out. Now that basically Cell was gone, the point to kill Goku was gone as well. So they had no directive to follow at all. So, yeah, basically... Envy Mizuhashi. I do see a what if. We will get to it shortly, just so you know. So basically, I feel that the 18 thing was like with Krim, but for the sake of the argument, if 18 decided to stick around, I feel like probably she would actually start to understand Goku more, because you know in Z, she's very, very dismissive of Goku still. That kind of stuff, very neutral. But I feel like she would actually understand and then actually think, what was Dr. Gero thinking? Why? That kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Andres Morero. What if there was a main character that was just a magic-infused AI that is emotional but sensible? Would be nice to have a combatant that doesn't use ki or martial arts. Okay, so basically using pure magic. Well,
Magical robot.
Well,
Yeah.
magical robot. This is an interesting twist. But basically, you probably have some. You'd almost have something like with Moro. Homkomru, I have seen your thing. You are on a list. We just haven't got to you yet.
Yeah.
So basically, I would say you probably have something like Moro, just dealing with like weird magic and stuff like that, and it would certainly be a very different twist. So
yeah, but having him as him or her or them as a protagonist, that's an interesting twist, you know, like definitely something that it would be hard to grasp to Goku, and it's interesting because like in original Dragon Ball, you had many more characters with gimmicks, and it was kind of dropped with Z.
Yeah, no, I would say so. Yeah. Oh wow. Okay. We've got a Dark Snake X5 with a $50 donation. Thank you. Hey Masako, what if Babidi had a daughter who was 1,000 times stronger than her father, and she managed to turn Ranch into a margin and attack everybody? Okay. All right. We'll keep this short, but good question.
Bebede.
You'd have a Boobidi, something like that.
Oh, Boobidi. Oh my.
Boobidi.
Sophie's slapping you from whenever she is.
Oh yeah, no. Sophie would be like, it's like, oh man, that kind of stuff. But basically, in short, if Boobidi or something like that would basically no. It'd be Salakadu. That's it. It's Salakadu. Because Salakadu and Menchikaboo and Bibbidi Bobbidi Boo. It'd be Salakadu. That's it.
Okay.
Or Sarakadu. Sarakadu. Basically to copyright and stuff. If she was 1,000 times stronger, then she'd probably be able to control anybody. That kind of stuff out. So basically, she'd be able to control anybody. So any sort of like any hint of anything like that, and you would end up having. She'd be able to like tap into any sort of resentment or anything like that. And
basically, baby, but more powerful.
Baby,
in terms of
the perfect baby, but in magical.
Perfect baby.
Certainly, but yeah, no, thank you, Dark Snake X. Thank you. Okay. Andres Moreno. No, we've done that one. Paparacha. What if Gohan's Saiyan pride was aimed at learning? Well, we sort of talked about that in our Chadhan video. Basically, so if you look at our video from yesterday, that'll pretty much answer your question. But basically, if we just say like, you know what? Let's just have Gohan give up fighting and having book smarts, doing the art of ki or ki control and stuff like that. You know, he'd probably be very useful in being able to understand ki from an educational level. Just something different.
You know,
almost.
The longer I think about it, the more I think that Gohan needs to go to Yardrat.
Yeah, I think he would excel at that.
Yeah.
We probably need that to happen. So we're calling it here first. Gohan will be the next one to go to Yardrat.
Yeah.
I'm calling that here. Grant Emil, what if King Cold didn't go with Mecha Frieza to Earth? Well, we'd have King Cold out there, but I feel like with instant transmission, Goku and Vegeta probably would end up just going to find him and then blasting him into smithereens and stuff like that. And I think
I mean, if he saw that somebody defeated my baby boy twice, I think King Cold would be smart enough to call it a truce with them.
Oh, so basically he would just say, okay, I will not conquer any more planets.
I need a new baby boy now, and he would probably make a new Frieza.
Yeah, but I think he would probably limit the scope almost.
I think hell no, he would still be a conqueror, but he wouldn't. He wouldn't like touch Earth. He would be like,
He'd stay
oh
away.
yeah, monkeys, have fun, have
You
fun.
can have
I'm
that
not.
one. I didn't want that planet anyway.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. Yeah. Linus Gardner. What if Nam and Number 8 were part of the Z Fighters? Well, Number 8 is a very... Ada is a pacifist, plain and simple. He doesn't like fighting. But let's say, reluctant participant.
It would make things interesting in Android
interesting.
Saga with 16, definitely.
Yeah, that'd definitely be very interesting. Nam, I think he'd be very good because the cross chop and stuff like that, cross arm dive, that's it, is a really powerful technique, and it really almost took Goku out. You know, if Goku had more, if Nam was just that little bit stronger, he'd be absolute. Goku would have been toast pretty much. So I think the potential in there certainly, and it'd be very nice to have a different type of cast member in there certainly. Almost, I think he'd get on with Ten Shinhan really well, with discipline and stuff like that. So yeah.
And later with Piccolo Jr., I think they would be like the three wise guys.
No, definitely. They call themselves the wise guys pretty much. SSJ3 Gohan. What if Chichi died giving birth to Goten and the Son brothers were raised by the Briefs? Okay. If they were... Well, the thing is, though...
There's still Ox King.
There is still Ox King, that's very true. Ox King would just move into the house and stuff like that. You just move in and stuff like that and just keep an eye on them and stuff like that. And then when Gohan was, like, older, then basically he just, like, leave them to it, almost. But at the same time, Ox King is still around. But
he would probably be a helicopter grandpa for Goten, but...
Yes. But he would trust Gohan in being responsible enough. Philip Perkins. What if Barbary used the Cell games to revive Boo? Well, okay. If Barbary was around during the Cell games, the power levels in question there they were still pretty powerful, but they were really low. Almost. They were really low in energy. So I don't think they would have been enough to actually bring Boo back.
I think the most he would try to do would be to margin Perfect Cell and escape.
Yeah, basically marginify him, and then basically come back later almost with a margin cell stuff.
Can you imagine Babidi having both Dabura and Margin Dabura and Margin Cell at his disposal?
Oh dang, yeah, that'd be pretty nuts. Podo, have you ever shipped a ship for an admittedly silly reason? For example, as soon as I found out the Sans X Muppet ship was called Dunkin' Donuts, I decided I had to ship it because that name is fantastically perfect. It is a very perfect one, but in terms of ships, I don't really ship people that much. Haverok, do you have any weird ships?
Not really. I had one, but my joking ship was Hellas with her Kai.
Oh yes, of course. Oh yeah, that's true. I'd love to have Hop X Bergamo. You know.
Yep.
Basically. Yeah. Claws encounters. That's basically like that. Bergamo X Hop. Because Hop's a really good character design. Universe 9 had some cool characters in it. The Trio de Danger were awesome. Like Basil, jeez. He's just like a tank with those legs. Woo!
Yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Again, those guys were like Mad Max meets with your D&D monster manual, and they were awesome, and I want to see more of them. I want to see that universe.
I want to see Bergamo and Goku fighting alongside each other, putting their differences aside. That'd be fantastic.
Listen, and Trio de Danger should have that war cry. Who let the dogs out?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Heartless Fang. What if after seeing the power of hybrids from Gohan, Vegeta and Nappa arrived on Earth to repopulate the Saiyan race instead of trying to kill everyone? Vegeta orders Goku to have more children. I don't know. I feel like Goku I don't think would go along with that. And I think really it's just like, I would say, Goku would just say the Saiyans don't deserve to live anymore. Like, the Saiyans were really vile people, I don't... Because this was at a time when Goku was not proud of being a Saiyan.
Yeah.
So he'd be like saying, no, he wouldn't. So basically, it'd be just like... They probably would try and make sure that Gohan didn't die and stuff like that. So probably Nappa would just like... Nappa would probably kidnap Gohan almost.
Yep.
And like, yeah, Nappa would kidnap Gohan the moment they arrived, and Piccolo would just become...
Or,
Piccolo
we could go in
not
much...
this again. And stuff like that.
In much darker situation, Nappa and Vegeta could start literally kidnapping Earth's women.
Oh, wow, okay. Oof.
Yeah, pretty dark. But like, like, if he was about that, okay, this race is compatible with us, then yeah.
Yeah,
it's pretty dark.
It could get kind of dark, yeah.
Yeah.
Paparazza. What if Crillon accidentally wished he was Goku? Well, we sort of do that with what if Crillon was Saiyan,
Yeah.
or became a Saiyan. We sort of do like, because he wished to be like Goku. It's that kind of stuff. So you get that, but if he basically almost literally wished he was Goku, you'd end up having two Gokus almost. Except, but say, well, the only thing I can do is basically shave his head. Almost. Or grow a beard or something like that. A bearded Goku and, yeah, stuff like that. They would
I'm Goku!
I'm Krillku! My name's Krillku! And stuff like that.
Everyone's friend!
Everyone's saying friend! And stuff like that. Z-Mistress. What if Crillon didn't agree when Vegeta suggested a truce on Namek? Would Nail take sides or drive them away so Guru wouldn't be endangered? Okay, so basically if Crillon didn't side with, oh yeah, Red Dragon says Gorillin. Oh, cool. No, good idea, mentioning the fusion, nice. I would say if they suggested a truce on Namek and they refused, then Nail would have to step in and basically just say, okay guys, playtime's over, you need to pick a side right now. Nail would actually step up a lot more. I basically say, yeah, you guys need to pipe down. Nail would actually be seen as much more a badass, and we'd actually see Nail whoop Vegeta's ass.
Yeah.
I think he would basically, like, Vegeta would be like, I'm gonna show you a thing or two, and then basically Nail comes in and just go like, no, enough of that.
You just got nailed, son.
Nail gun! And stuff like that. We'd see the nail gun. Okay. Hong Kongru. Here we are. What if Goku lived in the future instead of Gohan? If he was weaker than the androids and if Gohan had the heart virus instead? It'd be fun to explore Goku being unable to defeat his nemesis. Okay. Interesting. So basically, it's Gohan that gets the heart virus. Like, say, for example, okay. Goku's at Yardrat, gets instant transmission. Okay. He becomes a carrier of the heart virus instead of succumbing to it. So basically, there's something about full-blooded Saiyans which makes them more adaptable to spaceborne viruses or something like that.
Yeah.
But there's something about Saiyan hybrids which means that immunity doesn't get carried over. So as a result, Gohan succumbs. And Goku then realizes he can't win. So he would be the one to train Trunks. But I feel at the same time, he probably would not succumb and stuff like that to the Android 17 and 18. That kind of stuff. So
yeah,
I feel like it'd be very much an uphill struggle, and Goku would mature quite quickly. He'd be very serious and stuff. And I feel like
I think Gohan's death would scare him pretty much.
Oh, of course, exactly. He'd be as edgy as Gohan in that. Ultra Havoc animations. Unfortunately, I would read more comments, but we do get a lot of them. Just reading these comments alone from the super chats, it takes nearly 3 hours, so we do have to get through a lot, unfortunately. So that is just that is the way it is, unfortunately.
But keep in mind that after every single one, we go through them.
Yeah, exactly. We do peruse them, and they may end up in a video and stuff like that.
So don't worry.
Yeah, so and again, if you feel like you've been skipped in the super chat, odds are we have not got to yours yet. So basically, that's pretty much the likely scenario out of it. Like,
yep.
Odds are you probably haven't got to yours yet. Okay. Fabian Gamboa. What if the Phoenix was alive in DB and Goku became immortal instead of getting Nimbus? Nimbus could be gifted, earned by someone else afterwards.
Oh, we got that already.
Yeah, we have done that.
Times,
I think what we said is that Goku would probably be really... He wouldn't be grateful for it. He'd be very like, you know, I don't want this. This is not something I earned.
I mean, Kid Goku probably would take it because that earning thing was the part of Corin's training, really.
Oh, okay.
And at this point, I don't think he would really like. This is something that came to him for. This is something that he could regret later, as it would take a lot of satisfaction from the fight. Although, like I suspect that the Phoenix thing would just make him not age.
Yeah, I think probably.
I don't know if he wouldn't be grateful. Like, it just means that he can train for longer. But I think that the thought of his friends aging faster, aging around him, and going away, I think it would make him sad when his friends.
You know what? I think he probably would wish for having mortality to be removed.
Yes. Yeah.
And then, Shenron would be like, "Whoa, okay, that's a turn up of the books. Never had one of those before," or something like that.
Yeah.
He would ultimately.
I think he would do that though.
Mortality.
Yeah, I think he would do that though after the first of Z fighters would die of old age.
Totally. Yeah. So basically, eventually, he said, I cannot live like this." Certainly.
Yeah.
Okay. Envy Mizuhashi. Would the endgame for What If Bulma be a suit that channels her ki to the point where she became pure energy, resided a suit like a Warframe? Oh, so basically she just becomes like a ball of energy almost? I don't know. For the What If Bulma series, I'm doing it very much as I go along, because I want to kind of keep myself surprised. And it's a very incremental version, and it's very incremental in how things go along, because it's evolution, and Bulma adapts the suit to what she finds, ultimately. And then there will be a peak where she will become much stronger, but for now, she's basically being opportunistic with what she can find and making the most of what, humanity can make. That kind of stuff. But definitely manifesting ki in the suit, certainly. Because that is something that I did explore with the power bow that Ranch has as a weapon. A ribbon that can hold on and manifest ki. And stuff like that. So you could use it as a whip, you could use it as a sword, that kind of stuff. I'm really proud with that weapon. Max Phoenix, Winx Club in DragonBallZ Super? Oh man, imagine Winx Club being in Frieza's personal hell.
Oh my knowledge about Winx Club is almost non-existent. I know that it's something like Witch, I presume, so...
Winx Club. Oh, if there was an allusion to it and they were basically like the girl chums of Fortune Teller Barber. I
mean, probably we would have that in Universe 2, like some of
Universe
those
2.
things. Like,
If there was opportunity to nod to Winx Club, it would have been in Universe 2 with the Kamikaze Fighters.
Yeah.
Kamikaze Fireballs, that's it.
Yeah.
Demon of Empire. What if Khalifa doesn't reach Super Saiyan 3? What if her people are attacked and need her help? Would she abandon her training to protect them? I don't think she would. Because Khalifa may be more mellow than she used to be, but she is very selfish. She wants to get stronger for her own personal gain and stuff like that. Yeah, sure, she does toe the line with Hit around. Hit being the team captain of Universe 6, I think. But basically, ultimately, if she has the chance to get Super Saiyan 3 and Goku can teach her, she will go for it. And like, her initial reaction would be like, I don't want to help them, I want to get stronger, but Goku will say, you should really go and help them. Like, Goku would basically tell her, now Khalifa, you better go help. Okay, fine. And stuff like that. She'd be reluctant to. Certainly.
Yep.
But I would say, ultimately, maybe Super Saiyan 3, I don't think she'd get it. Because I think right now, if she did get it, I think people would call hacks.
Yeah.
People would not be happy with that. They were already a bit iffy about her getting Super Saiyan 2, almost indirectly. Like, just by circumstance. That kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, so... Benjamin Hall. What if Chichi kept training as a major fighter in Z? What if the Ox King and Grandpa Gohan had been trained by Kami? Well, Kami didn't really figure in around that time with Grandpa Gohan and Ox King. They hadn't reached that level of power yet. Nor were they in the interest of Kami, because Kami did not want to interfere with Earth stuff. Unless, basically, it involved King Piccolo. Then he couldn't escape that. But with Chichi keep training, we have talked about this before, she would basically have an appreciation for Gohan fighting as well. So he would probably be a bit more aware about, the rage boost and stuff like that. I think Chichi would be a pretty decent fighter. I don't think she'd be right up there at the top. But I think she would be a decent member. Somewhere around the power of Yamcha or something.
Yeah.
And yeah. Okay. Master Riku. Did anyone... sorry. Oh, Vegeta. Did anyone get the name of that witch? Winx Club. Thank you. And stuff like that. Oh.
I love that. Yeah.
Manifesto. What if Gohan got Ultra Instinct in a tournament of power instead of Goku? I think if Gohan got that, I think people would be just going like, calling shenanigans, because it's just like, Ultra Instinct is the result of God Key training. It's what Gods of Destruction get, ultimately. It's what something they're able to be in all the time. And Angels have that similar trait. So, for Gohan to suddenly... Unless there was another way of getting to it, and in another what if that people had mentioned that the ultimate form was basically like God Key, in a way. So if
I mean, there were some similarities between that, and it's still not well cracked, but coming at its origin, like for me it would be a logical evolution for the ultimate form to be revealed. Oh yeah, this is a divine thing, but it's like it's on the border between divine key and mortal key.
Yeah, exactly. So it would be very much along those lines, certainly.
Because you need to, withstand, a divine old man running around you and doing stupid stuff.
Okay.
Get it.
Paparazzi says, what if Ginyu Trunks lackey body swap power to help? I think maybe what if Ginyu took Trunks' body? If he did, then I think basically if Ginyu took Trunks' body, it depends on when. So basically, say for example, Trunks does his thing, kills Frieza, all that kind of stuff, and then like Ginyu changes into Trunks' body, and everyone goes like, "Where did you come from?" And Ginyu says, "I came from the future," and he could basically say anything he wants. He'd probably just like say like, "Oh, hey, X, Y, and Z happens," and all that. So he could lead them on a wild goose chase and basically say, "And Ginyu comes back, and he's a very nice guy," and stuff like that. Or he just mess with them and then use the time machine to escape.
Would he know how to use the time machine?
I don't think he would, but he basically, but I think it would lead to hijinks, and he would end up blowing up the time machine.
Or traveling to a very wild period.
Yeah, but basically it would be just for gags. But ultimately it would not be very good for our people, certainly. Frostbite is up next. What if Gyro controlled DBZ Broly? Okay. So if Gyro was able to have some kind of similar device to Paragus, then I think Gyro would basically just... He would just be like, he could not be bothered with like trying to control Broly, like as Paragus did, to try and get some sense of normality. He'd be just basically saying, this guy is completely uncontrollable, I'm turning him into an android.
Yeah.
So basically, yeah, Broly, yeah, he would not be spared. He'd become an android.
He would replace his brain with...
Yeah, totally.
Especially that this is the DBZ bro.
Yeah, and exactly.
Even more.
Basically, in test, he would realize there is no way of keeping his brain in here. We need to basically, change it entirely.
It's not that there were a lot of words in his brain. Yeah. I can think of one.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, our next person is, let's see, Red Dragon Force 2. What if Universe 2 was Sailor Moon? How far could they go? Assume most powerful versions of Moon, Mercury, Mars, Jupiter, Venus. Oh, okay. No,
What do you mean, what if?
What if it is? It so is. It's Toriyama and Toyotaro poking fun at magical girl anime and doing a really good job at it. Yeah, it does get a bit annoying after a couple of years, but at the time, Ribrienne, Ribrienne was I laughed my head off and thinking, yes.
The Android 17 scene when he disrupts their transformation is one of the funniest things in Super.
And it's just 17's just going like, what? They were just talking. I'm gonna like.
No, 17. We don't do things like that. And like I think the thing that made me laugh the most was Topo's reaction on this. Like,
oh, Topo. Oh, Topo.
Topo was like, "You see, my boy.
You see, my boy, it's absolutely not right. You have to let the people say their thing, but then them transform. That way, when you defeat them, you feel like you deserve it." I love Topo. I love Topo so much.
Okay.
Alright, okay. Vio Goshinki. What if Gohan saved Zangya from Bojack? Turn good? No. I would say it'd be a very similar thing to what happened with 18. As in, like, yeah, she'd be kind of grateful, but she would also be very confused because Bojack was like the only thing that kind of was keeping her going, and then to find out that he basically betrayed her, she'd be very confused about what to do next. But at the moment, she would appreciate the fact that she was saved, but she wouldn't show it. So I would.
You know what? We are getting this one so often that I'm almost tempted that in one shot.
Yeah, we might do that as a one shot. So watch this space for Shinky.
Yeah.
Brian Kubero. What if Tenshinhan died against Raddatz instead of Goku? Okay, so basically if Tenshinhan sensed what was going on and decided to come and help. Well, I would say, if it were up to me, I would say with the Tri-Beam or the Kikoho, I would say Raddatz would be like, Tenshinhan would make his entrance with the Kikoho, and Goku would be able to sense it, and he'd be like, Piccolo, get out of here, and then Kikoho, boom, and just like knock Raddatz out. Like not like, you know, incapacitate him, but it would be enough to like basically rattle him, and then basically that would be enough to kind of like maybe give Goku the element of a surprise.
Yep.
Tenshinhan would be support. He wouldn't go and fight directly, and I'd say he'd just come in to like help, and then go away again. That kind of stuff. It's a cool idea though. I'd love to see that happen.
Yep.
Carthu's Dojo. Oh hey Carthu, nice one. Carthu's Dojo does very good what ifs. I recommend them. Just wishing you a good stream, bud. Oh, same to you, and thank you. Some love from the US side of the DB what if community. Aw, cheers, bud.
Wow, thank you.
Yeah, very much obliged. We need to collab sometime. Certainly. Andres Morero. What if Earth was a water and wind-based planet with gigantic trees rising above the waves, and ki can't be used in a traditional format? Oh, what sort of like Avatar's Pandora, almost. There was one funny article about when Avatar came out. People were diagnosed with depression because Pandora didn't exist. Because it was so pretty in 3D. Like, it was the first 3D movie of this generation. And people were diagnosed with depression because Pandora was not real. I felt sorry for them because I have to admit it was really pretty, certainly. But, okay, so basically, water and wind-based plant, ki can't be used in the traditional format. It'd almost be like you'd have to have the Genki Dharma type of thing all the time. So you'd have to, like, manifest energy from the plant life and stuff like that. But then you couldn't use it too often, because otherwise it would affect the wildlife, and the balance in the world would be compromised. So it'd be like a balancing act for all concerned.
That would, you know, like, this gives, like, this is an interesting concept, because then you can make Frieza Force into that huge industrial technological force that tries to, you know, basically buy those planets and utilize it as a, you know, free real estate. That, like, that could work as a modern reinterpretation of Dragon Ball, kinda.
Hey, little mama, let me whisper in your ear. I've got something that you want to hear. It's free real estate. Stuff like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Next one is Manifesto. Hey, Masako, what if Bulma modified her Saiyan Buster into a Transformer facsimile? Like going into vehicles and giant robot. Cool for space travel, maybe. Well, at the moment, the Saiyan Buster is basically just that. As in, it travels in space as a giant robot. Because it's meant to be mimicking Gundam. But I would say maybe if it had some kind of, like, long-distance travel mode, like, it kind of can adapt its body into some kind of more aerodynamic type of shape. And stuff like that. So,
you know what would be kind of funny? If Pilaf's gang teamed up with Bulma earlier because they have some expertise with the boats.
yeah, basically it'll make like, well, looks like the worm has turned. Looks like you'll be wanting our help now, Bulma. Oh, this feels great. But Pilaf would be smart, yeah, be loving the fact that Bulma needs their help.
Yeah.
So good. Master Riku. What if Queen Cassava was sent off world by King Vegeta like many governments do with the designated survivor bid? Okay, well, let me know, just so you guys know, Queen Cassava is not the actual name for King Vegeta's, the mother of Vegeta. Cassava's just my approximation and facsimile for that. But say, for example, okay, King, sent off like that. I imagine she probably have gone into hiding, that kind of stuff, until, like, to take the weight off of the Frieza Force.
She is most likely deceased at the time of destruction of planet Vegeta. So keep that in mind. Like,
yeah, true. Okay. The Batosai. What if Dragon Ball was super PG and no one died ever? Also, any chance of continuing your what if Vegeta never turned good scenario? Yeah, I will get to that, to a Vegeta turn good scenario, never turn good. I will get to that, but we just got a lot of other studios and stuff like that. So, gotta work with that. But, Dragon Ball Super PG? That's basically Dragon Ball Super. Like, the only people who do die are bad guys. Because everyone else, it'd be basically just like, you'd be sent to the next dimension and stuff like that. It'd just be like the old dub. They would just replace dying with going to the next dimension. That kind of stuff like that. So
I mean, the most graphic thing they did was trunk slicing corrupted fused Zamasu.
But that's okay, because Zamasu is a weird alien person.
Yeah.
You can chop them in half, absolutely. And that was like,
Yeah.
You can chop them in half and
he was alive after. He's immortal, so he's okay. And you can erase him.
Diddly squat. So something like that. Okay. Andres Morero, again. Let's see, make sure I'm not skipping anything. What if Bulma took all those destroyed robots and androids over the years and built something out of them? What if someone placed a curse on Frieza, dooming him to failure? Well, he kind of, like, has, because Bardock had the element of clairvoyance. So he knew the destiny of the future. And he knew that Frieza would end up being bested and challenged by his son. So he knew that it would happen. So in a way, Frieza was doomed to failure. By his own hubris and thinking he could never be opposed, he set himself up to failure. So he kind of almost did that with himself. Those, the Kanassans pretty much, had condemned Frieza to that by giving Bardock the power of seeing the future. It's like, oh no, that's Saiyan! He can see the future! Stuff like that. But in Bulma, okay, if Bulma tapped into and used all those android stuff, she wouldn't make androids, as it were, because she's not like Gyro. But she would certainly find some ways of turning them into useful kind of like automatons. Or something like that.
Yeah, like, like building robots that would help people, like helpers, like robots that would be friends for lonely older people, like she would put all of that not in weaponry. She's not a... Yeah. Bulma is not a... contrary to popular belief, Bulma is not a female Tony Stark.
No. We've made her into that in the Bulma Train like Goku, but naturally, she is basically very altruistic in that regard.
Yeah.
When she's older. When she's younger, she's much more selfish. Okay, next one is Red Dragon Force 2. If you could choose a name brand as well as muffin button flavor, would you sell your drink under the TFS soda? Funny you should mention that. I've actually got no. I've gotten a sponsorship offer with a company called X Gamer, and they make powdered gamer drinks and stuff like that. And I may do a video reviewing their stuff, but I've said to them I will only do it if I have the opportunity to make my own flavor. And what I want to do is either maple bacon flavor or blueberry muffin flavor. Which one would you buy? And if it was the blueberry muffin, I would call it the muffin button. I would call it that. So it would blueberry muffin. So type blueberry or bacon in the chat. Which one would you prefer?
And I'm honestly surprised you guys aren't selling Team Force soda yet.
Well, funny you should say that. We have actually talked in various marketing meetings about actually making a heat up energy drink.
Yeah.
But having to go through the FDA and all the food standards stuff like that, it is just so there's so much more tightrope you have to walk on.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm already seeing in the chat like muffin, blueberry muffin. Yeah.
I am not surprised. I told you so as well.
No, I fully expected that too. So I am no qualms with that at all. Okay. Frostbite says, "What if Goku was raised in Russia like Superman Red Sun?" I would say pretty much the realm around Muscle Tower. Goku would be fine in the cold. It wouldn't bother him.
I think he would be more like, because like we do have very little information about the Russia equivalent of the Dragon War, because sometimes Dragon War seems like the real countries don't exist. Sometimes we get small snippets of them. And like if we take the timeline and assume that it was still, USSR, that would be pretty interesting.
Yeah, considering that Dragon Ball was was developed in the 80s and stuff like that, it would have been brilliant at the time. Interesting.
I think especially that a lot of things in Dragon.
Hello?
Hello?
Hello? Hello?
Hello? Hello?
Oh, okay. We got technical difficulties right now. One sec. Okay.
Hello?
Okay, Hello. Okay. I think you guys can hear me still. So hello.
Hello. Oh,
there we go.
You're back.
Okay, I think the chat could hear me just fine. Like, yeah, everyone there could hear me just fine.
Yeah.
There we go. It was my audio DAC failing again for some reason.
Yeah.
So basically, okay. Alright, cool. So Dex Comics goes, "What if I said hi?" Well, you kind of did, Dex. So, but appreciating for the super chat all the same. Mr. Charisk, what if Android 19 rebelled against Gyro? What if the androids kept Dr. Gyro alive? Okay, so it's like two. If Android 19 basically said, like, would rebel against Gyro, well, like, Gyro, this is not, like, the first time that this has happened to Gyro, because, like, 17 and 18 did that. So Gyro would have a failsafe and go like, yeah, okay, never mind. He would just shut 19 right down.
Blowing you up.
No, absolutely, because he's seen that so many times. So
as for keeping him alive, I can imagine them keeping him dead.
Like ironic punishment, almost.
Yeah, being him. Dear doctor, you're already somewhat talking head.
Ooh, that'd be really dark. Jeez. Okay, next one is Red Dragon Force 2. Augustus says, what if Goku landed in the Hidden Leaf Village? That would be Ninja Goku. Then, finally, my Ninja Goku thing is a reality. So you just have Ninja Goku, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have that. Fellfool 414. What if Cooler took Goku when he was a baby? I've seen a lot of these lately. Like, seriously. It's kind of crazy that it's like that.
I mean, he would probably train him and made him into to give his brother an ironic defeat at the hands of little Saiyan.
Oh yeah, no, he'd basically just be a puppet in like Cooler's own revenge plot, as it were. Podo, what are your personal headcanons for whether Gyro's son was good or evil? Because I plan to use him in the next chapter of my Goku Dream or What If. Okay, I would say Gyro's son. Oh, if we had to like use the 3x3 axis, I would say Gyro's son is probably lawful evil, almost.
Lawful neutral going to lawful evil, I would say.
Yeah, he'd be in the bottom left corner, almost.
I don't think he would go for unnecessary violence, but like he would consider a lot of violence to be necessary.
Yes.
I think his mind would be majorly brainwash in a way.
Definitely.
And I'm pretty sure, like, well, he would be a pretty fascist type of, I feel.
Yeah.
Not a nice guy, probably a fascist, probably very mean, maybe with some little redeemable qualities, but pretty minimum.
Yeah, relatively so.
Yeah.
Okay. Grant Emil, what if instead of leaving Piccolo Jr. to grow up by himself, Goku brought him to Kami? Would Kami wish himself young again to be able to deal with him? I feel like the power-wise, Piccolo Jr. Kami could take care of Piccolo Jr. And I feel like he would recognize pretty quickly that this Piccolo Jr. is not as evil as his father. He would recognize that pretty quickly. Because we do as well. Because we realize that Piccolo Jr. has some kind of mercy.
I don't know he would from one simple thing that...
Oh, no. It would take it would take several months.
For Kami, initially, like, he doesn't really treat Piccolo Jr. and Piccolo as a person. What he says is his bad side.
Yes.
And for the longer, like, I think the whole tragedy of Kami and Piccolo relation was that for the longest time, Kami didn't see Piccolo as a living, thinking creature, but as his own internal trash.
Yes. Yeah. That's true. I mean, basically, they had the revelation maybe much sooner. But okay.
Yeah.
Paparacha, what if Maxium, thank you very much for your super chat, by the way. What if Uzaru were replaced with Titans? Paparacha. So basically,
From Attack on Titan.
So almost Goku bites into him, he turns into a massive Titan. Then Nappa would be the Colossal Titan, certainly.
Yeah.
But basically, it would be... And Nappa would just be like, "Hey, Wallop Maria! Hi!" Just dub DBZ Nappa over the Colossal Titan, and you're pretty much off to the races. But in seriousness, it would be very, very freaky and scary. It'd be really scary for a kid's show. Jeez.
He would probably eat Grandpa Gohan. Ooh.
Oh, he'd eat him instead of squishing him. Oof.
Yeah.
Basically, like, that would probably traumatize Goku even more. Like, he ate his grandpa. Oof. Deep Shade Glasses Guy. What if Vegeta or Gohan got Super Saiyan God first? I think it'd be really interesting that the God ritual, it gave it to one random Saiyan. Like, it's not one person. And basically, there is this risk that they say when they do the ritual, that, yeah, you need 6 pure-hearted Saiyans, but it does not guarantee the person you want. There is a chance it could go to someone else.
I still think that the most hilarious...
Well, sorry, that cut out there.
That the most hilarious option, in my opinion, would be Pan or Goten.
Oh, imagine if it was Videl.
Yeah, Super Saiyan got Videl.
Oh, Super Saiyan. Oh, dude. Oh, that would really annoy people. But in a way, that would make Videl relevant.
Yeah, let's make it for the quick round table.
I'd almost want to make... You know
Yeah.
what? I almost want to make that a candidate for the April Fool What If.
Yeah.
I almost want to make that a candidate for the April Fool What If. Let me know in the guys in the chat if you'd be interested to see that as an April
I mean, you know what's really great about this? Because if I understand how God Key works, after she gives birth, the God Key went through her body, so her body would be already tuned in with the God Key. So technically, Videl could use God Key.
And she could learn Ultra Instinct.
Yeah.
Interesting. And
yeah.
I feel like it would spark something in her wanting to train again. I think
Videl, and we's making Videl a candidate for Beerus' successor. Videl, God of Destruction. I mean, that's perfect. If you think about it.
We've not had the cutoff yet. But that will be in about less than 10 minutes. So, just so you know. Okay. Where are we? Okay. Paparacha, what if future Gohan married Bulma and had a kid? So let's say if they had to share that bed. Well, you probably would just have Bra. You just have Bra, really, but it would be Gohan in that as well. So you'd have another half Saiyan knocking around. And it means maybe by the time you get to Goku Black, you'd have another potential Super Saiyan, like Trunks training his little sister. That'd be kind of cool. So it'd be something like that. That'd be interesting. Master Riku, what if in a fit of annoyance, one of the Z characters wished Goku would act his age, and the wish is granted, but it makes Goku a toddler? You know what? I think that would actually be a funnier result of Pilaf going like, you know, wishes the Black Star Dragon. It's like, Goku, I wish you'd act your age! And he does turn into a toddler. Like, he ends up literally becoming a toddler. He's not a kid, he's a toddler. So it would literally mean you cannot take him out to space.
Yeah.
That would be so much better. And it would have actually been really funny. So,
and it would make... And Chichi would be like, you know, you need a Saiyan father to take care of him, and she would like leave him on Vegeta's doorstep.
Oh yeah, that'd be good. JRC, what if Kami wished himself younger and trained to prepare for the androids before they arrived, while Piccolo trained with Goku and Gohan? We sort of done that in the What If Nappa Turned Good series, didn't we? But I would say he'd actually be really strong if he had the chance to train as a young'un again. Because the Nameless Namekian was already really strong. So, yeah, there's a lot of potential in there. Tyler Knox, what if Goku and Vegeta learned wrestling? It's like some alien race that no pro wrestling teaches them. Well, it's kind of similar to what we had earlier with grappling arts. I would feel it would actually make fighting and the action a lot more dramatic and also a lot more perilous. I'd say it'd be a positive. I'd be all for that.
Yep.
JRC, again, what if every race in DragonBallZ Super had the capability of a super form? I would feel that would get old very fast. Because basically, oh, we see a new type of race and stuff like that. Oh, what's their super form? Oh, they're going to have a super form. Oh, okay, there it is. The only way you could stop that... It's impossible.
The legendary Super Shamotion.
Yeah, exactly. They'd be really kinky.
Yeah.
They'd be super kinks. Oh, okay. Andres Morero. What if two characters must fuse permanently in order to survive? If they defuse, they die. Possibly twins originally. Well, for a certain what if we have in mind, we might have that happen.
Yeah.
A what if. We're not going to tell you which one.
A what if.
But that motivation is certainly mooted. Invaded Phoenix. What if Ginyu learned how to use Goku's body? Okay. I would say even if he did learn how to use Goku's body, I feel like he would not still be able to get 100%. But I feel like he would able to use more of it. Like, he would be able to fly. He'd be able to use Goku's basic attacks.
Yeah, he wouldn't go against Frieza if that's what you guys are hoping for, because I don't think that rebelling against Frieza is it's very much in his nature. So for all you guys, Ginyu turned good.
Ginku or something like
Ginku
that.
turned good. I would say for Ginyu to turn good, Frieza would be dead.
Yeah, certainly. Okay, Manifesto. What if Buu Saga came first and DBZ ended with Cell as the final villain in Cell games, but the threat levels were switched? Plus ending what we wanted. Okay, so basically, we had a similar one last time, and I like that one. But it's say like the Buu Saga was the first arc of DBZ. But the powers are scaled.
The second saga.
Okay, the second saga. I'd say it'd be really interesting, a bit weird, but with having the Cell Saga as the final saga, that was how Kai originally was meant to end, and I like that, having that as the end point. That was a really natural end point, so I feel like it would be, Manifesto would be the ending that we would want in a way, certainly. Red Dragon Force 2. What if when Buu fell asleep before the Tournament of Power, they chucked him into the hyperbolic time chamber for an hour or two, and he was able to wake up before the TOP started? Now, you see, I don't know why they didn't do that. But, again, it's not the point of the story. But, if I were Goku, I would say, hey, I know, let's stick him in the hyperbolic time chamber, and stuff like that.
Yep.
Goku, did you say it correctly? What? Hypertonic lion tape? There it is. Okay. Be the only time he would say it correctly. But if he did, then Buu would probably be awake. He wouldn't be buff Buu anymore, but I'd say he'd still be useful being able to heal her. Stuff like that. So, he'd have his uses. Seaton 2. Hey, Masako, are you going to make another Super Dragon Ball Heroes video now that the last episode of the Universe Conflict Art is like, No, not doing those.
Nope.
First off, people don't watch them. Like, nobody cares. Nobody cares.
Literally, more people watch his rant on this than those episodes itself.
No, seriously, the only videos that get views on that are the actual subbed episodes that are on YouTube somehow. Yeah. That's the only time that they do. Like, the videos that I do make about the episodes, they barely get any views. Loads of people unsub. Like, they really do not care. So it's like, yeah, you guys have spoken. And also, it's annoyed me to no end so much that Super Dragon Ball Heroes, the promo anime, does not deserve to be recognized. No. It's just, unless they can learn their ways in this third arc that's coming, I'm done with it. Like, I'm staying true to it. I'm going to talk about Super Dragon Ball Heroes in passing in discussion videos, but in terms of a dedicated review, nah, not worth my time. Okay. Maximum 5. What if no one could fly? Well, it'd be cool, but it would also make instant transmission so much more valuable. And I think Goku would actually teach them that.
Also, Frieza would have used his flying egg chair.
Yeah, exactly.
Much more. He would be almost like Bowser Jr. in Smash.
Oh, of course, naturally.
With clone car.
Yeah. Let's see, where were we? Adam, what if Goku and Raddatz switched ages places? Okay, so basically Raddatz was the one that went to Earth. By the way, just before we continue with that one, we are now going to say the cutoff has now occurred. Super chat submissions are now closed. So, after this one, please, we thank you so much for your super chats, but we need to get through the remainder of them in a reasonable amount of time. So, no more, please. But if you do want to leave a super chat, it's mainly just for support, really, just so you know. But yeah, we've still got quite a few to get through. So let's get to that. Jeremy Hart, odds are I do see your thing on the list. You are on the list. We will get to you shortly. But Adam's thing about Goku and Raddatz switching ages and places. So basically, it's like thank you, Red Dragon. You know what? I think Red Dragon, since you've done a lot to kind of marshal people, I think I might make you a mod, because you do help out a lot. So you do help out with that. So yeah, you get modship. You get modship, bro. Okay. Okay. So if Goku and Raddatz switch stations and places, I feel like Raddatz would end up being like Raddatz would be like stronger. Raddatz would be stronger than Goku. He'd have more potential and that kind of stuff. And I think Goku would be like, I don't know. I feel like in mentality and stuff like that, it'd be like, not really much would change. Really? Just, circumstances almost.
Yep.
Yeah, so basically, but unless switched ages and places, is that Raddatz would be more, oh, no, that wouldn't work either. I would just say, really, it'd just be the look at appearances, really. Master Riku, what if there was a Super Saiyan transformation that made the hair have some sort of rainbow look? That would be really epic, but probably be really hard to animate. That kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Or you just look at our color theory video. But if that would be work, I would say it'd be very progressive almost.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Christian Schumpert. That's a new name. What if two different future Trunks from different timeline multiverses go to the same past timeline multiverse to save Goku?
I think it happened in Xenoverse too. There is a mission that gets that.
I wouldn't be surprised if there was I'd be surprised if there wasn't a mission that did that.
Yeah.
So I would definitely say that'd be something on the cards. But I'd say if that were the case, they'd be both united in having a consensus almost.
Yeah.
So I feel like, not really much would change. It'd be just like a neat little kind of like Easter egg or something like that. Manifesto? Or what if Super went past or retconned the Z ending while keeping Oob and all the good stuff from Super? Keep new forms and Z universes past the ending. Honestly, at this point now, I just wish they'd do that. Just basically say the end of Z, that was from another dimension or another multiverse. I mean, granted, it would be a bit of a shame or something like that, or if they slightly changed, if they reanimated the end of Z to incorporate all the stuff were in Super that we know. They either need to do that, or acknowledge that the old end of Z is no longer canon. Is now no longer the part of the official timeline.
I would be really angry if they animate Goten and Trunks to be kids in that.
Oh god,
world.
if they did that, I'd riot. I would riot so hard.
I like Goten and Trunks in the end of Z. Like I really like end of Z, except the the whole Goku thing. But I so much like those episodes, and Goten and Trunks are probably one of my favorite things in those.
Absolutely. Anime Guy 01. What if after his training on Yardrat, Goku sensed Broly's power level and went to Vampa? The trouble is though, is that Broly's power level, Broly's power level is basically, it's not that great at the time. It's like in the 6 figures and stuff like that, but Vampa is really far away, really far away. At that time, he'd only just mastered instant transmission, so he would be like very hard pressed to find him. But let's say if he did, I would say he'd be very interested. He'd be very interested to see what would happen. And Charo Gaming, don't worry, I have turned the mic up a bit. But basically, I'd say that I think there'd be a good relationship there, and I feel like he would take Broly with him back to Earth, and like say to Paragus, I'm just gonna take him back for a sec. I'll bring him right back and stuff like that. And I wouldn't be surprised if.
And Paragus would be like, no, bring us both back. Bring us both back. Maybe Paragus would be like probably less crazy because it would be much earlier. So
and it's another Saiyan. And it's another Saiyan.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. That could be cool.
But it might not end well for Vegeta.
No, it wouldn't end well.
But it could mean like this is one of the few scenarios when I think Paragus could have turned good or
At least
good.
calmed down and trusted people more.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff. Okay. I would say X territory. Masako, what do you think it would be like if Dragon Ball was darker? Do you think the series would benefit from a grittier story? If not, then why? I would say if you did a Dragon Ball side story that was like Shattered Grid almost for Power Rangers, that would be a neat little side story.
I mean, History of Trunks is kind of that.
Yeah, History of Trunks is your best bet, really, and the Bardock special, very much so. But
Yeah, because pretty often like this is something I touched. Then a lot of the times we like Dragon Ball cannot treat itself too serious
no.
because it becomes ridiculous and it becomes an auto parody without it wanting to be the auto parody. Because at the end of the day, Dragon Ball is a pastiche.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. That is the thing with some fan art project, or with some fan manga and comics and animation and stuff. Like, I remember a Flash animation back in the day called Brutality. And that was to Limp Bizkit's Let's Get This Party Started. And that's like pure edge Dragon Ball Z. At the time, when you're a teenager, that was really awesome. But at the time, it's just not in keeping with Dragon Ball. That's why with R&R, that's what we're doing with it, to make it feel as authentic as possible. To have stories where we explore the characters, and we do something that's almost as much as Toriyama as we can be, without being Toriyama. That's the kind of thing we're going for.
Because even at its darkest, Dragon Ball still has a little bit of that lighthearted. About that silliness. Again, every time when you want to, I want that really dark, serious story, imagine that one of the most epic battles in that series are guys literally called Vegetable and Carrot punching each other in their face.
There'd be just that underlying sense of like, you'd be an underlying sniggering, pretty much.
Yeah.
Exactly. But I think I'd like to see a darker story, certainly.
Yeah.
Philip Perkins. What if Frieza killed Goku instead of Crillon? Okay, so basically if he ended up actually shooting Goku, then everyone will be screwed.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean that's the thing. Unless Gohan went Super Saiyan.
Yeah.
If Gohan went Super Saiyan, he might be able to do something against Frieza, but only temporarily, and try and retreat and stuff like that. They'd be able to somehow get off the planet or something like that, but it'd be very precarious.
They are pretty much
It would not be easy. It would not be easy. They would be toast, most likely. Jeremy Hart. What if the baby saga happened in Universe 6? Or if the Shadow Dragons spawned from the Super Balls multiverse GT? Okay, from like the Super Dragon Balls, you got the Shadow Dragons. That'd be kind of cool, almost. I don't know. I feel like Universe 6, it'd be like almost like if the planet, if the Tuffles were in Universe 6 and they tried it with Baby. That'd be kind of interesting with the Saiyan police and all that kind of stuff. It'd be almost kind of like saying, oh, hey, we have a character guy called Baby in Universe 6. That'd be a good way of bringing him back in. There's a Baby in Universe 6 as well.
Yeah, Baby is another character that I think that we forgot that would be pretty likely to be brought back into the...
Yeah, he has a good chance. Out of all the GT characters and baddies, he has the biggest chance to come back.
I think he's the most beloved, and for a good reason. He's a very...
Yeah, he's certainly respected. Definitely.
Yeah.
Okay, Master Riku. What if Android 18's memory databank for her Destroy Goku directive was corrupted while she was in cryostasis? So basically, if the databank, if she forgot about Destroy Goku, well, they kind of did. Like, they didn't care. Like, they were like, oh yeah, we know about killing Goku and stuff like that. We'll get to that eventually, but we want to go and do our own thing. They were lazy teenagers. That's the thing. Gyro forgot about that. Lazy teenagers who are delinquents. He needed to pick teenagers who had no back chat and were very, very conformative.
He couldn't. He could not select teenagers with attitude. Does it make Gyro a dark version of Zord?
Kind of almost. Yeah, that's a good question. But I think almost it'd be just like, well, Android 18 would just be even less bothered about going to actually kill Goku.
Like, he would be like, hey, bro, why do we want to kill this guy?
It would sow the seeds of doubt, and they'd probably just give up. So that means the chase would probably just end sooner.
16 and 18 could probably push him out of, violence. They would just want to be free and probably Z fighters would have easier way of stop at some point, especially with Cell around.
Yeah, no, I'd say so. It's Icy Pal. What if Goku's stupid moments in DBS were due to all the head hits causing so much brain damage that he'd start forgetting things and lose motor control, eventually leaving him disabled? No fixing was sensible with DragonBallZ.
Oh my!
Oh,
so dark.
Oh, jeez. Oh man,
so
that's heavy. I mean, okay, that could be something that may be alluded to later when maybe Goku's much older. But oof, jeez, if that ends up being the case, then man, that would be really harrowing.
Yeah.
But, I mean, okay, that makes a bit more sense, but still, though, ouch. Oof. That's a big oof right there. But...
to make it more, fantasy stuff, what if, all those transformations, Goku lose memory and lose focus, essentially,
Yeah.
To make it more cartoony, So
yeah, like basically all the transformations are basically muddling his brain, almost.
Yeah, draining him. Yeah.
And the brain damage. And the brain damage. Okay.
Yeah.
Homkomru. The ultimate self-insert. What if MasakoX ended up in the Dragon Ball world without the ability to use ki? I'd probably end up just being a god tuber, almost. Yeah. I'd be basically like, all our videos about the Supreme Kais and the Angels and stuff like that. The GPs watching it on GodTube is saying, I don't like how close this mortal's getting to what we're doing.
Yeah. Or would you take Jimmy's firecracker?
Yeah. Jimmy Firecracker. So basically, I'd be friends. I'd have Jimmy Firecracker on speed dial.
Yeah.
So yeah. Anime Guy 01. What if Gohan and Shin killed Babidi before Majin Buu was released from the ball? Okay, so basically, if they were able to defeat Babidi and they were able to not spam any more energy, then the fight, there'd be no Buu Saga. There'd be no Buu Saga. Vegeta would win the fight. He would, his powers of the Majin powers would probably ebb away because Babidi's not there to control them anymore. But it would leave a big rift with Vegeta with the rest of the Dragon team, certainly. Andres Morero, what if the dinosaur fighter from the first tournament, that mermaid and that phoenix, fused into a permanent ally? That would be a very overpowered ally. But it's like, cool, it's a giant phoenix mermaid dino fighter. Kids would love that. Toys. Just loads of toys.
Yeah, we should put that on the figures.
Yeah, exactly. Thunder Student asks, what if GT continue with DBS Saga minus Goku leaving? We kind of do that in the GT Raddatz story. Like, we use elements from Dragon Ball Super.
Yep.
So we kind of do that. So if you want to get an idea about what it might be like, with Ranch and Raddatz added, granted, then you can check that out. Rufael J.O., thank you very much for your contribution. Paparazza says, explaining, what if future Ginyu swapped into a human body, became Trunks' lackey, and tried to use his body swap against Andros? Oh, okay. Paparazza was elaborating on his thing from earlier. So if Ginyu swapped into just a regular human and became a minion of Trunks, and then tried to use his body swap, so somehow he would find his way back on the time machine. And...
him helping against Goku Black, that would be really interesting.
Okay.
Still. Yeah, that... I like that.
So basically, like, it's a Ginyu redemption arc. Oof.
Yeah.
Like, Ginyu redeems himself and basically says, it takes over Goku's body, and he goes like, yes, this feels very familiar. This was very familiar. And Ginyu and Zamasu's trapped in this random human's body, and basically Goku Black just goes like, and Goku
remember about that.
And Goku Ginyu is the one to do it. You know what? I want to actually make this a story.
Yeah.
Let's do this. We'll do this as like a one shot, and I'll do this as a shorter what if. I'm thinking about
in lightning round. Yeah.
No, I would say not even that. I'd say actually just the one thing I want to do instead of the lightning round where we're doing like 3 in 1, I
Yeah.
almost want to make it a lightning round where we just do shorter videos.
Yeah.
Just their one and done ones. So we may make
Yeah.
that our test one.
Yeah, yeah.
So
This
yeah.
is one of the ideas. Also, we are thinking about something else. I think we can announce it now to make bolder what ifs in terms of more conjecture, because you guys seem to ask a lot of stuff that requires a lot of conjecture. So we decided to basically do something bolder and more of our own lore. But we will see. We'll do some experiments on that.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. Yeah, we shall see. We shall see. Okay.
Yeah.
Thunder Student, what if Ghost Nappa was canon? Merchandising. Pretty much just that, really. I would say if Ghost Nappa was canon, you keep Nappa in there and stuff, and
Yep.
Nappa would torment Vegeta and stuff like that, almost kind of like a sidekick and stuff. Pretty much that, really. Rufael J.O., what if Super Buu resides within Oob, like in Dragon Ball AF? Okay, so basically you get an element of residual energy of Super Buu is somehow in Oob. But the trouble is, though, is that the way with Goku says, I wish I can fight someone like you, it's like it's the element of Buu. But let's say, for example, there is some kind of trace of Super Buu. I would say it would be very small, and it would be overridden. But I would say as Oob gets older, he starts to get more memories of Buu. And I would say maybe it might make if Majin Buu... He might actually seek to fuse into Marju much sooner to actually try and explain what's going on.
Yeah.
So I think... Or he might actually fuse with Buu against Buu's will to try and gain some understanding. That could be cool. Alright. Paparacha, what if Teen Bulma studied Ki like online Gohan? Okay, if Teen Bulma wanted to just study Ki, but the trouble is, though, she's more of an engineer, more of a scientist, so she's not really kind of that interested as a teenager.
If she could utilize Ki as, as a power source.
If she could, she would use it.
Renewable power source.
Yeah, for the sake of the argument, if she basically learned how Ki works, she would use it to gain perpetual energy. Or, like, use it as an energy source. Like, for, the planet and stuff. Because I can imagine that, you could easily do that. Especially one of the Dragon Team. They pump some Ki in, like, every couple of weeks or so. They could keep the Earth going for, like, forever.
Yeah, or create gadgets for Z Team, like Ki batteries. Can you imagine, like, batteries that could,
like, yeah, exactly.
Boost the energy of the Z fighters.
Yeah, no, that could be neat. Like, emergency Ki batteries. The Energizer Bunny. You'd have the Energizer Bunny in there, certainly.
Spirit bomb batteries.
Seaton Tube 2000. How would you improve Hearts? How would you make his backstory? And how would you name his species and planet? That's a lot of questions there. So let's go with the basic one first. Improving Hearts. Actually give him a backstory that makes you want to relate to him. And not make him basically just be for the fact that the guy who voices Dio in JoJo. Give him a chance to say Muda Muda in a Dragon Ball project.
Yeah.
But basically, he's just so generic. He's just like... I think Geekdom said that in his review, is that he's the twiddly moustache villain of Dragon Ball. As in, like, I'm going to destroy the world and stuff like that. But the last episode, I will say this one thing. His reason to do all of this is actually kind of interesting. It's like, he's trying to rid the Omniverse of Zeno. And that's actually kind of like, okay, why didn't you say this sooner? Yeah. Basically, they kind of have alluded to it, but the fact that now Hearts is saying, I'm not like Zamasu, I actually want to bring justice to the Omniverse and stuff like that. If he'd have said this sooner, he'd be more compelling. And he would actually be saying, like, it's actually making the good guys seem a bit iffy.
Yeah.
So if only that was mentioned sooner, that'd be really, really interesting. All right.
Also, first great improvement would be giving him a kingdom.
Yes, actually having a kingdom and actually being a king. That'd be interesting. Isipao.
Kingdom of Hearts.
The Kingdom of Hearts. Oh, yeah. Dude. Oh man, and his minion would be called the Organization.
Yeah.
Oh, oh, it writes itself. Seriously.
Yeah. Yeah.
Isipal, what if the Dragon Gang were magical girls? There's plenty of fan art for that already. But Goku would be Sailor Moon. Totally. Because food. Yuck, yuck. Paparacha, what if Gohan stayed on Namek and went to Yardrat with Goku? Refusing to leave his dad, but staying out of the way otherwise. Well, sort of like what he was, like what we were talking about earlier, Gohan would be in his element in Yardrat.
Yeah.
I'd imagine that he probably would actually, he breezed through the training that the Goku takes 5 months. I think Gohan could do that in 3.
Chichi would be really furious, but I think after Yadra training, Gohan would be so focused that he would be a genius.
He would be, yeah, absolutely. He'd be a whiz kid, absolutely, certainly. And I think he'd be more assured of himself. Like, he would be like, I know I'm smart, but I also know I'm strong. There'd be clarity in there, certainly.
And I can be big now.
Yes, exactly. Paparacha again. What if Perfect Cell lost by ring out to Goku and became a crazy angry hermit? Okay, so let's say, basically, if Perfect Cell actually adhered to his rules and he fell out of the ring, he's like, no, I said it, therefore I must do it. And I would say
he would blow Earth. Like, I'm sorry, he would blow Earth.
He would blow the planet up.
Yeah, I lost. Okay, blowing up Earth. Like he would do that. He would totally do that.
Oh, he'd fly away first, and everyone would go like, "Oh, did that just happen?" And then eventually the Earth blows up. Yeah, he'd do it sneakily. Paparacha also says blueberry bacon as one flavor. Ooh, no, that wouldn't work. Trouble is though, sweet and salty. Yeah, I know all the different flavors and stuff like that, but mixing fruit with grease. Ooh, no, that wouldn't work. Fruit and greasy stuff. Not sure about that. Paparacha, what if Ox King trained Goku to keep him with Chichi? Okay, this is going off the back of Ox King having that power level of 900. So basically, it's the Ox King going like, well, if you're gonna be marrying my little sweet baby girl, you've got to train in the way the mighty Ox King do. Basically, just make him into like a baby Ox King. Goku wearing the same gear. It'd be funny. It'd be funny as hell. Yeah. And it would actually be really interesting to see what Ox King is like as a proper dad. So you actually get to know him.
Yeah.
That'd be cool. Certainly.
I'm gonna teach you Dad Beam.
I'm gonna teach you. One day when you become a dad, you're gonna find this very useful. So, okay.
Dad Beam.
Okay. Pokemon trainer Cam. What if Chichi were a demi-Saiyan or half-Saiyan? So, say for example, okay, this goes off the back of so many different what-if scenarios that Ox King inadvertently got jiggy with a Saiyan. It would probably, and say for example, this mutation meant that Chichi didn't have a tail. So something like that. But I would say, in a way, the revelation of a Saiyan, and then Ox King would be just go like, well, now tell you what, now that I think about it, it would mean that Gohan would probably be like a three-quarter Saiyan, or actually, no, that's not how genetics work. I would say through genetics and something like that, he'd end up being a full-blooded Saiyan.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that would be pretty interesting. Like, Gohan would be even more powerful. Probably not as much potential, but yeah, stuff like that. Kenshin says, guys, it happened. New Cell versus. Ah, yes, Bobby Hill and Cell. That's my purse. I don't know you. that was good, and Tarka's scream for that was great. Paparacha, what if Ada was Jiro's original son and he didn't just know he was still alive? So basically, if Ada was like his actual son, I mean, that'd be interesting. Dr. Gyro having a Frankenstein son.
Yep.
Okay, so basically it's his... Oh, okay, so like he was the original experiment of making an android from his own son. So they had like a son from another mother. Okay.
Maybe it has the original son's brain.
Maybe. Like, it has the literal brain.
Yeah.
That could be interesting. It'd be a lot darker, that's for sure, and be borrowing a lot from Mary Shelley, certainly.
Yeah.
Paul Dunbar. What if Goku marries Bulma and she trains like him? So it's a variation on the whole what if Goku married Bulma. So basically, I would say that if she did, well, so basically it's almost mixing what if Goku married Bulma with what if Bulma trained like Goku. I would say she would be more in admiration of Goku's skill and wanting to understand how, you know, humanoid bodies develop and stuff like that, and Goku's potential. There'd be a marrying of the two of science and martial arts, certainly. Rad Dragon Force 2. Augustus asks, what if MasakoX was reincarnated as Frieza? Oh. I don't know, actually. I'd probably basically be saying, you know, on this day, every person must write a what if every single week. And if it's not up to your liking, I will unsubscribe you from life. And stuff like that. Dragon Ball would be mandatory material. You'd have to read it. Toku Hopkins. What if Launch was explained as having some Saiyan DNA somehow? You know, instead of just being thrown away. Or just straight up is a Saiyan with similar head trauma to Goku. I would say probably Saiyan DNA, like maybe it was like, say for example, a Saiyan was sent to Earth a very long time ago, but they kind of forgot their mission somehow. So, like I'm talking about like decades ago. Something like that. So, like, she's the granddaughter of a Saiyan. So maybe that might explain, maybe that's how the variation of a Super Saiyan happened with the way she sneezes. Maybe. I mean, the DNA would be so little that it probably wouldn't come up. But in a way, it'd be probably like one of Crillon and say, you know what, maybe Launch is a Saiyan or something like that. You know, and then, well, yeah, my granddad was a very mysterious person, apparently. He didn't like going out at night when there was a full moon. Maybe that explains a lot. Something like that. It'd be like alluded to. Nothing would come of it, but it'd be just like, you know, it'd be a nod or something like that. Heartless Fang. I remember you being miffed about the Goku versus Supes fight. What if God Ki actually gave them aspects of creation or reality warping? Magic, more or less. Well, this is what I said. God Ki is divine Ki. It's magic. I didn't agree to that, and I still don't. I feel like God Ki could have done more against Superman. I still think it does. And with Ultra Instinct, that is boundless and limitless. If Goku could get the job done in enough time before falling out of that mastered Ultra Instinct form, he would definitely either make things really close, or he'd win. We need a round 3 now that we know about Ultra Instinct. We need it. I'm going to keep on saying it until I'm blue in the face. Master Riku, what if time travel to the past was random and you don't have a certain point you can travel to? Well, I imagine probably that would scupper Trunks' plan. Certainly.
But also Cell's plan.
And Cell's plan, exactly. So, you know, Cell goes, yes, I could go to the past and stuff like that. But no, he actually ends up going to the same future and it ends up being totally useless.
Or imagine imperfect, like one of the little things I want, imperfect Cell going to the times of the original Dragon Ball.
Oh, man. Oh, then he'd be just like, well, he'd ultimately just having to like make himself into a larval state and he'd be waiting for decades.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder if there's such a thing as waiting too long and he would actually end up succumbing and dying of starvation.
I mean, he would have to feed from time to time.
Yeah, he would have to, certainly. But it'd be very much kind of like something like that. So, okay. Isaiah Frazier, side story. What if movie director Nappa tried to recruit Raddatz for a movie role? Maybe blonde Launch makes him agree for the cash. Cousin It from the Addams Family. That's what I'm saying. Addams Family remake, Raddatz plays Cousin It. That's it. Kenshin491. What if Goten and Trunks got a giant mech? Fusion? You know what? I feel like in the future, if Goten and Trunks exist in the What If Bulma Trained Like Goku story, the first Sire Buster, she gives them as a toy. Like, alright kids, you can play with the first Sire Buster. And they're basically
it says Goten and Track, so maybe, you know, a fusion of Goten and a Track.
Oh, okay. Oh, Optimus Trunks. Kenshin491 also says, what if Ranch had a twin? Okay, so basically, If I'd have gone the other way and had like a boy and a girl, probably Daikon would have been like a twin or something like that.
Yeah.
Daikon probably. Like
Yeah.
a really tough person as well as like a mix of stuff. Something along those lines.
We would call him Brunch. In
Brunch. He would be Brunch. SSJ3 Gohan. What if Goku fused with Dende against Super Buu? Now, I just need it quickly. I need to go to the bathroom first, but quickly. But Haverok, you take this one.
So like I don't think it would give it that much. Like Goku was considering it, but then there is not a warrior, guys. Then there is your white mage, your healer boy, and as much as in terms of healing powers, they probably would be more useful. Like I don't think it would be much of a boost of the power. Maybe access to something. Also, we don't know how the whole Guardian things works, because back in Kami's day, you couldn't leave the lookout. Then they can kind of cheat that around. So, this is pretty much... I don't think they would get that much of a gain from this in the end. Okay, so... Since Mas is gone, I don't want to question without him. So how you been doing, guys? How are you today? I see that Darth Revan addressing Goku's sister. Oh, we haven't got that before. Yeah, we had that a few times.
Oh, is that all good?
Yeah. I answered the question.
Ah, sweet, awesome.
I just wanted to start another one without you.
Yeah, actually. So next one is J.H. Thomas. What if humans had Kaioken mid-Z? How much changes? Oh, totally. It'd be just like, it would give them actually some means to catch up almost. If basically, I would say if Tenshinhan had Kaioken and came up with the Shinki Koho, basically used Kaioken as like a variation of that, that could actually do at least a good amount of damage to Semi-Perfect Cell. Like, it wouldn't be just like keeping him down, it would actually do a little bit of damage.
Yeah, I would say probably Kaioken Tien could defeat Imperfect Cell, like the one that we see at the beginning of the saga.
Yeah, so basically Imperfect Cell, if Tenshinhan found him, he'd probably win.
Yeah.
It'd be close, but he'd win. And then pretty much the arc would be done. Yeah. I'm actually working on Gine Part 14. And I'm really, really excited about I've come up with a good idea. Which sounds so much like JoJo, as in like it's such a butt pull. As in like you'd be just going, oh, come on. But at the same time, you'd be thinking, that is a JoJo thing to do, dude. But I'm like, I'm going to do it. And it involves a Cell meme. And I'm going to send you the script later to have. And I want you to see what you think. I'm actually going to send it to you now. And then you'll have... And we'll talk about that afterwards. But you'll see the next Gine one will be next Saturday. So on the 20th, I think? No, 18th. On the 18th. So you will see Gine Part 14 is coming very soon. Because lately on my community page, I do list what I'm gonna do in terms of what ifs for the following week. So you will get that, certainly. Okay. What's the next one? Monsterland. What if Goten was a mutant who turned into a Super Saiyan 4 instead of a normal Super Saiyan, even becoming an adult? Yes, because apparently that's how Super Saiyan 4 works. Basically, if Goten's powers, he's such a mild-mannered boy, but then he actually ends up becoming so powerful, he becomes Super Saiyan 4. I mean, he'd have to go through Golden Great Ape and have his tail. So he'd have to have his tail grown back. There's a lot of variables here. Like
that would have been hilarious if he did that randomly. But...
Yeah, and it would actually be finally Goten as an adult. Yeah. But then you'd find, unless you took GT elements, then basically you turn Super Saiyan 4, then have a cell phone. And you'd be like, oh no.
Puberty beam.
Puberty beam. So, jeez. Chef Boy RB. What if Vegeta wished for his tail back that didn't interfere with canon wishes made to blend with the story better? Love your work. Thanks, Chef. So basically, if he wished for his tail back, I'd say the only reason he wished for his tail back would be just for his connection to his past. Just to acknowledge as a reminder of what he was like. So maybe
Super Saiyan 4, because I think Super Saiyan 4 would be appealing for Vegeta due to its connection with the Saiyans.
Yes. No, I'd agree. So basically, it would almost be like, let's search for another power almost. Monsterland again. What if after King Piccolo, the world government created conscription? Everyone between 18 and 30 had to serve 4 years in royal military. Bulma and Chichi too. Is this an allusion to certain things that happened last week in certain memes? I think it is. Yeah. So basically, if King Piccolo basically did that, we've seen in various parts that the military really does not do anything in the Dragon world. On Earth, they do nothing. They are there to be made an example of. So basically, if afterwards, then... But at the same time, Chichi would be okay. Chichi wouldn't be conscripted because she's pregnant. She's pregnant, like, not long after, like, King Piccolo. So basically, once she was found out that she, was having Gohan, she would, be discharged. So, and then obviously looking after a baby, she probably would escape conscription. But I think Bulma would actually be that as well, because she's Capsule Corp. She's at Capsule Corp. Like, basically, she's in charge of the biggest company on the planet.
They would be in Science Division, probably.
They'd be in the Science Division. Capsule Corp would be, would have a military division.
And then Saiyans and Frieza Force come. Oh, that's cute.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, certainly. Red Dragon Force 2. Superman has Volquasm Rao and Volquasm Vo. That is basically the same as Ultra Instinct for Goku. Data state. Oh, okay. So I guess maybe you'd have Volquasm Rao and Vo against Ultra Instinct Goku. Bit more of a meta thing there. Maybe. They'll just find a way. And the winner is Superman! All that kind of stuff. I'm still salty about that. Ben and Chad are great. The Screw Attack people at the time. Well, it's not Screw Attack anymore. But those guys were cool. They were really nice to talk to. Ben's a sweetheart. But I'm still doesn't mean I'm not salty about it. Okay. Super Michael 98. What if Goku wished Pycon back and he joined the Z Fighters? I don't think Pycon would. Because if Pycon... I think Pycon's actually really settled. Settled in the afterlife, and I think he got a lot more out of it than he did in the physical world. He's learnt so much, and there's no telling how long he's been there. He's probably been there for like centuries, maybe.
Yeah.
He's not a recent. Yeah. He's not a recent acquisition. So basically, if he went back, then okay. None of his people exist anymore, maybe, or his family don't exist.
The action would be more or less like Dendes in TFS. In your guys' version. Where am I? What is this?
Exactly. So he'd be more confused, and it wouldn't really be more satisfying for him. And the fact that they haven't actually made Pycon actually come back to life, it's really telling. Monsterland again now. What if Ox King got sick and died during the 23rd tournament? Now Goku and Chichi have to rule. Chichi can run things, Goku protects. Gohan, future king. I think the problem is that there isn't really a kingdom anymore. Fire Mountain has already been extinguished. And it's more of like a ceremonial title almost. Yeah, so something like that. Then the next one is, what if they wished for 1 million sensu beans, keep them in capsules to be fresh? Or what if Shenron could grant any wish like he claimed he could in Dragon Ball? If Shenron could grant any wish, then basically there'd be no need for Super Shenron. Yeah. There'd be no need for that, and 1 million sensu beans? I don't know whether that could be possible, or something like that. I imagine there's some kind of caveat with the sensu beans. Like, they're beyond Shenron's power. Because otherwise, if he did that, then, that'd be like... there'd be some caveat to that.
Yep.
Certainly. And the last one is Nexus. What if Dr. Gyro wasn't killed and Cell found him? Oh, if Dr. Gyro found him, wasn't killed, I think Cell wouldn't care. Like, he probably just...
I think they would they would work together for a while, and and if Cell got perfect, he would be like, okay, doctor, good doctor, thank you.
Congratulations, you got to see your project succeed. Now, I think you are no use to me. Tar, destroyed. Yeah. Anyway, that is it for today. And Red Dragon Force leaves a super chat at the last minute saying, thanks for a great stream and see you next week. Well, that's very good.
Guys, it's always a pleasure.
So we'll wrap things up and say thank you so much, everybody. And the next roundtable will be on Wednesday. So basically, we'll see you then, because on Thursday I will be at a Kumikon in Ireland over that weekend. And it's really galling because that's when Kakarot comes out. So I don't get to play it for a few days. Unless I can find a way to download it on Steam via hotel Wi-Fi, which I very much doubt. Unless I can find a way. But either way, the week after, I will be playing it and I will be streaming it on the channel. So there'll be that too. But anyway, that's all, everybody. I hope you guys have a very good night and a good rest of your weekend. And I shall see you... We'll see you on tomorrow's video, which is What If Broly Turned Good Part 8. Take care, everybody.
See you.